Hello everyone and welcome to another video on XrmTypeFast series. So in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to update a record using XrmTypeFast within Dynamics CRM. Okay, so before proceeding, I want to grab your attention toward two types of updates that we're gonna deal with. In fact, two scenarios of updates. Scenario number one, in which we are going, in fact, to set the values of fields to non-null values. Okay, non-null values. And in scenario number two, where in fact we're going to nullify the existing values of fields. Okay. Scenario number one does not have anything specific to in fact care about, but in case of scenario number two, there is a little tiny stuff that we're gonna be careful about. Okay, so this is actually Visual Studio Code, and this actually is the piece of code that we have run in the previous video in order to create the record. And this is the record here in Dynamics CRM that we created. Okay, so I am going to go with scenario number one. Okay, first of all, this is actually an update, so I'm going to provide the GUID of the record, which is and here at the end we're gonna set actually the operation to update. And since update returns a Boolean value, in fact a promise of the Boolean value, which in fact we're going to await for, so this is gonna be a flag. Okay, so we're gonna await for that Boolean value to be returned. And here we're gonna change values to some new values. Okay, I think this is a pretty much good indicator of whether actually it has run or not. We negate the Boolean value. In case of the entity reference, we are going to set the parent account ID to a new value, and primary contact. Okay, this is I think it is the same as the previous value, so yeah, I'm not having any other contacts, so I'm going to create other guy, and I'm going to copy the GUID of this other guy and paste it right over in here. Start date, let's go with January 15th. Industry type code, another value. The type to other values, and let's add two more digits to the revenue, and indeed, yeah, the ID, the update, the flag, everything is ready. So as you see in scenario number one, there is nothing specific, just the normal thing that we typically are supposed to do. Okay, so we build it and we copy and go to form. Oops, here on top. Saving and publishing. So I'm going to also clear the cache using this extension. I'm going to open DevTools. Okay, scenario number 1. So, okay, we're here. Flag is undefined. Now flag is set to true, and we expect that actually the values be changed. Indeed, by refreshing it again, the code is going to run again, but it doesn't matter. Changed. You see all the values, other guy, 15th of January, and these new values. Okay, so as I said, scenario number 1 is quite easy. Let's go to scenario number 2. So in scenario number 2, you're going to set the values of these fields to null. Okay, so you're gonna wait until I set all these values to null. The entity reference as well is going to be set to null. Null. Okay, so should I build it? No. Why? Because typically in scenario number 2, we're gonna deal with lookup fields in a little bit different way. Lookup fields, okay? So in fact, it is something not specific to XrmCleintService. In fact, it is something related to API OData service of Dynamics CRM, and that is when you want to, in fact, nullify the value of a lookup field, behind the scene, the kind of request is not update, it is delete. It may be, well, interesting for you, maybe you are not familiar with this, but the reality is that, as you can see here in this post, if you go and search for that, setting null for single value navigation property, and by navigation it means in fact the lookup fields, okay? Setting null for single value navigation property using XrmWeb API, which in fact the XrmWeb API behind the scenes is going to use the OData service, okay? And this guy actually has raised this question that this is actually a lookup field, and by just setting it to null, okay, then he's actually facing this error. The actually it's not gonna run as expected. And from the answer that this person, the Manish guy actually has provided is the correct answer. You have to use delete method to remove the lookup value format. Format is as follows: /API and here it goes until the end with $ref at the end. Okay, so if you were supposed to write down your pieces of code in JavaScript and not use the XrmCleintService, you had to in fact send a delete request. And the point is that for every lookup field, you're gonna send a separate delete request. Okay, but here, since XrmCleintService has handled this kind of complexity behind the scene, what you're gonna do is that you're gonna cut these values. Actually, we have to make a separate call for each of these three lookup fields, but the complexity is resolved. So you're gonna set just like a typical normal fields. In fact, other fields, we should really call them normal fields. So like normal fields, you're gonna set the value to null, and you're not gonna do that kind of dollar reference blah 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 kind of stuff. Okay, things are simplified, but that the other point, in fact, which is in fact creating making a separate request, still exists also in here, and this is actually something we cannot deal with. It is mandatory. So for that, I'm going to create other separate requests as well. Okay, entity 222, and this is gonna repeat again as a separate update. And this is gonna be the last request. So let's check for, yeah, there's no typo. So if the flag be returned as true, then it means everything has been done correctly, in fact successfully. Otherwise, maybe you're gonna actually say, in fact, things are not reversible much. For example, if the first flag goes true and second goes to true, but the third be false, then well, maybe you're gonna deal with your business in whatsoever way you want. But just in case, I'm going to add this kind of rule in here that if the flag be in fact false, let's make a kind of alert, okay, so that we're gonna alert something to something bad happened. Okay, so we're gonna in fact alert the user that this update stuff actually has not been done completely. Okay, so the point is that in fact we have separated the main update from the delete request, which is in fact are behind the scene going to in fact nullify the value of the entity reference. This is the whole point. So I think there is nothing specific to actually look through, and I think everything is okay. So we go back to first we build it. Again, clearing the cache, and here it goes. So the debugger on top. Let me I put these values right. In fact, the breakpoint here after each await line. Okay, so before proceeding, I'm going actually to open this record in order that you see actually gradually how either of these, in fact, deleting stuff and updating stuff is happening, and what's going to happen actually on the record. Okay. I just have changed the password, so I'm gonna think for quite a while until I actually recall that. So I go to accounts and sample changed. Yeah, the values are still. And this is script error is because actually we're on another form. Okay, so it doesn't really important. It is not important. So all the values are still in there, as you see. Yeah. So we are in fact gradually doing things. Okay, true. So now if I refresh it, some of these values must be gone. This is gonna stay. This is gonna stay. This is gonna stay, and the others are gonna be removed. Okay. Oops. What's the problem? The GUID is still. Oops. Yeah, the values are gone. I don't know. Maybe I was like, what happened to me, but everything was working in fact fine. You see, in fact, the sample changed since here in the code I did not set that to null. Yeah, but description, number of employees, latitude, created on hold, start date, industry, type, and revenue, these must be set to null. Revenue, number of employees, yeah, type, latitude, industry, created on hold, all of these are set to null. Interesting. As expected. So we go now with the parent account. So I'm expecting the parent account to be set to null. Okay, so flag is true, so now it must be removed. Beautiful. Now the other request. I'm waiting for the response. It has got so long. Oh my god. Oh, it's here. Okay. So the primary contact is also removed. And the last but not the least is in fact the customer field, which is in fact this field. Okay, this one also must be removed. So I press it and flag is true, so done. And if I refresh it in fact, yeah, the customer is also gone. So you see, this update actually forced us to make 4 requests. The first one for the normal fields, let's call them normal fields, okay, which in fact really behind the scene and update occurs, and indeed the lookup fields, which indeed for each of them, for either of them, we are going to create a separate request. And this is in fact the correct way of updating a record. Okay, so thank you for watching and staying with me, and I will see you soon on the next video.